Hey guys, I just had the most interesting experience. It's been going on for a while actually. First let me show you where I am. I'm in the same park, but in a different tree, so you can see, and I'm kind of wedged up here pretty securely, like there's not as much of a seat as the other tree that I'm usually in, which is actually that one right over there. Because there were already people in that when I came, and it's funny because I almost literally started climbing the tree and then realized that there were a couple people having a very deep discussion up in the tree, so I came over to this one. But yeah, I don't know if you can see. Alright, so this is what happened. So I was walking here, and I was thinking about things like holding light, and I've had some very interesting conversations in the past 24 hours or so about authenticity and doing things for yourself versus for other people, and not in a way that's, selfish, but in a way that's following your own bliss and trusting that your bliss is what the universe needs, rather than actively trying to put yourself second in order to put other people first, which is probably a concept that some people need to do, but for many light workers, the problem is actually the inverse. It's that they put other people first and put themselves last, and that's actually a problem. It creates an imbalance. And so what's needed to happen is letting more bliss in and allowing yourself to really be the focal point of your joy, and then trusting that through that the universe is actually running through you the most amount of light and energy that it possibly can. So that's you doing your job. Anyway, so I'm on my way here, and I had just gotten off the phone with my friend Caitlin Keat, who is the creator of Vibes Up, well, her company, because one of her products will be at the Shasta Bliss Out retreat. It's going to be a Lingham stone necklace, and we're going to learn how to dowse with them as well as wear them. I'll put the link to Vibes Up down below, and also, of course, the link to the retreat and things like that. Anyway, so I had just gotten off the phone with her people, and I was so happy because the vibes there are just so incredible that you can't talk to Caitlin or one of the people that work for her and not feel amazing afterward. So I was off the phone with that, and I'm walking over here to the park, and I have a session a little bit later, so I'm going to have to scurry home before too long, but I had a really strong desire to get outside today, and I spent all day yesterday totally vegging on the couch. It was supposed to be an off day. Yeah, that's what happens to me when I try to do an off day. I actually end up getting a whole lot done. It's funny. It's kind of like if you move more slowly, literally, your body motions, you get more done. It's kind of that idea. When I say, you know what, I'm going to stay in sweatpants all day long, and I'm going to lay on the couch, and I'm not going to do anything, I actually end up really super bored. So as I'm watching mindless TV during the commercials, I end up doing all this stuff and getting all of these things done. So anyway, after spending most, if not all, of the day inside yesterday, I really had to get outside today. Did you hear that? Wow, that was a piece of bark slipping against my shirt behind me. Wow. Anyway, so I really had to get outside today. I really had to come see all my, non-human plant friends here in the park. So I was walking, and I came here, and on the way, I actually have to walk about a half-hour walk through a really busy city, and it's down a really congested major road. So it's not really a nature-y place to really zone out and connect with Gaia in the normal way. It's a very hustle-bustle city kind of energy, but it's really interesting, and I actually kind of enjoy it because there's a lot of stuff going on there all the time. So anyway, I'm walking, and I'm thinking about bliss and learning and coming back, and how the more light you hold, the better you are for other people. I hear a whole gaggle of children, and I don't see any of them. That's amazing. I wonder if you guys can hear that. I swear, I don't see one child. They must just be on the other side of that tree, but I can hear like 100. Anyway, and I started thinking about internal harmony, because that's always what I at least want to promote in myself and in others, hopefully, is feeling a harmonious internal feeling. And so I just started doing, various mantras about how inside of me was all harmonious, and my body was harmonious, and my energy was harmonious. And within 3 seconds, and I'm not exaggerating at all, I would say it was pretty instant, to when I started, all of the colors around me literally got brighter. And it's as if someone upped the contrast. 2 crows just flew by as I said that. Someone just upped the contrast and upped the saturation of my world as I did that. And I realized that through affirming that within I was very harmonious, all of my body processes started working better. My energy was plugged into my physical body better. So of course I'd be able to see better. Of course my eyesight would be sharper and clearer. And of course colors would look brighter. And so I was just really enjoying that, and I was walking here, and I noticed that as I passed plants, they all smelled really strong and gorgeous. You know, they smelled green, I smelled flowers, and I was admiring them as I went past, and, you know, kind of rejoicing over the beautiful little flowers that I saw coming up on stalks, and the baby leaves, and the softness. And I felt interchange between me and the plants. That was really cool. And that's something that I'm teaching in my intuitive development class. So those of you who are taking the class, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's one thing to do it with your one little house plant. It's another thing to do it with a whole, you know, group of trees or line of bushes and things like that. So I was thinking about a conversation that I had earlier today with one of my very best friends whose name is Megan, and we're going to be traveling next year together on the Bliss Out World Tour. And as we travel, we're going to be formulating a unique way to access divine presence through sacred traveling and following synchronicities that way. And so we were talking and brainstorming today, and she said something to me that a few people have, and it's really interesting because it's something that I definitely struggled with and don't really continue to as much anymore. I've had enough beneficial feedback that it's not a problem for me at this point, but it was for many, many years. And she thanked me for just being so out about everything and just being totally cool with talking about UFOs and talking about, you know, aliens and fairies and energy and past lives and all this kind of business like it was nothing, which in my case it really isn't. I mean, it's a part of life just as much as eating breakfast is for me. And I know it is for a lot of you guys watching this as well. But my response to her was first absolute shock, because I guess once it's done you don't really think about it, and then an affirmation and a validation that yes, that was terrifying. Before I came out of the spiritual esoteric closet, I was really freaking scared, and I was afraid I'd get maybe committed. I was afraid I'd lose all my friends. I was afraid that my family wouldn't love me anymore, that they would think I was crazy. That scream was very well timed, if you guys could hear that kind of energy, really, was what I was thinking. And so I finally just could not hold it anymore, and I know now it's because it's part of my life mission to kind of serve in this ambassadorial role. But at the time I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I couldn't hold back any longer, and I had to come out, and I had to be honest, and I had to just let everything out of me. And I did. And there was this resounding, shocking silence, and no one really cared. And now I find that the only people who really ask me, weren't you afraid, are people who are also really feeling that desire to come out, and that's the biggest fear. And connected with that is actually climbing this tree, because like I said, this tree was not as easy to climb. I had to shimmy up, and I had to squeeze up, and now I'm wedged in here pretty good, like I said, but I'm a little precariously balanced. I don't have a whole, you know, natural tree chair underneath me the way I do over there that's cradling me. I'm kind of perched in this crack of 2 branches in front of me and behind me. And I was trying to climb up this tree, and I'm looking up the tree, and I communicated with the tree, and I asked, is it okay if I climb you? And the tree said, yes, it's fine. So I'm shimmering up this tree, and I'm seeing a spot that I want to get to, which is the spot that I'm in now. And I'm looking below me, and I'm looking above me, and I'm thinking, oh, how am I going to get down? I can see how I'm going to get up, but how am I going to get down? And then another piece of my mind piped in and said, well, that's a ridiculous question. Why would you ever ask how you're going to get down ever for anything? And it made me think of a couple times when I've been aware of the cosmos, and my consciousness expands such that I can feel galaxies spinning, and I can feel stars being born and dying. And whenever it stops, because it only lasts for a moment, because you can only handle it for that long, or at least I can. I think eventually I'll be able to handle it longer. But whenever it stops is when I think to myself, well, eventually I'll have to go back. I'll have to go back into that tiny speck of a body on that really small planet in that little galaxy, and then whoosh, I start coming back down. And so what if we never asked, how am I going to get back down? What if all we ever cared about was, where am I going? How am I going to get up there? I want to go up there. Let me just go. So maybe it's something to think about. Not how am I going to protect myself, not how am I going to be safe, but where am I going? So, we'll see. You guys have a great day. Go in peace. I will talk to you again soon.